Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 15th Finance Committee meeting, the last one of the year and this term. Should be short and sweet here with just a few cleanup pieces that we need to do and introduce, starting with temporary resolution 11325 coming through code enforcement and zoning with Mr. Solly.
Thank you, Corey. This is for some plumbing work that had to be done, so I'm going to have Chaslin come up and tell us just real quick what it was for.
Hi, good evening. Yeah, we had a new sink installed and some plumbing work done. The PO was opened up when we got the invoice instead of, so this was after the work was done. It created a then and now situation.
Anyone
Trish, I
have
don't
any
know if you get
questions?
And there's money in the budget for it, too. So
Yeah, and it's in our budget, so we're not.
Okay.
It's just for mine with state audit, you have to have your purchase order engaged before the service. So that was just kind of got the cart before the horse. So in order for me to pay the invoice, I need council's permission to do so.
Okay.
we're going to suspend.
Ask for suspension. Mr. Luchtenberg is your second. Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chaz. Ordinances, we have two, temporary ordinance 7525 through finance. That is a request to amend two different pay ordinances that we already approved. Or I'm sorry, that's the one pay ordinance, but it's police and fire. Mr. Mayor, did you want to touch on that one?
Sure. The original pay ordinance that we passed was actually the previous version of that prior to the corrections being made. The correct version was emailed to everyone, but not included in the packet that was delivered to you. So it was just an error of getting that. The information was given to you, but it wasn't brought in front of you here at the table. So this is correcting an error in those salary calculations for police and fire chief. And then the second ordinance, 7625, is municipal court had some changes in their ordinance, pay ordinance regarding the changing a position to office manager versus admin assistant. And then also eliminating the utilities customer service manager, which, as you know, we eliminated that position entirely and moved that individual position over to zoning. So they really are just a cleanup piece. Again, all this information was emailed to council. You should have had it to review. It just didn't get to the formal legislation, and this needs to be replaced to make sure we correct those errors.
Thank you. Any questions? No? Great. So we're going to ask for suspension on those, and Mr. Ailes is my second.
Yes.
Great. That's all I have. Department updates. We have anyone here with department updates? Mr. Dietz.
Good evening, council. First of all, I'd like to start off by thanking the outgoing members for all the support you've had for LDOT throughout this year and years past, and wish you luck in your next endeavors. And for any newcomers that are coming on board, feel free to come down and see what we do. If you're around this weekend, you'll see one of the things we do, that is snow. Saturday, if you're around, it started snowing about noon, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and didn't stop until midnight that night. And our crews were in from 11 a.m. Saturday till midnight last night. So 37 hours worth of being in trucks. We spent a total of $67,405.72. The labor, we had 402 man hours involved in all that. That cost us about $24,000. And our materials was between 282 tons of salt and 8,460 gallons of brine, which we use to pre-treat and wet our soils that comes out of the trucks. That was another $23,532 worth of materials. So For anybody who didn't see a truck out, our trucks averaged 365 miles apiece. That's 10 trucks on the road. So if you weren't where our trucks were, trust me, they were out. So if you got any more questions or have concerns about what we did
How
over
many
the
of the
weekend,
how many of the small trucks do you have?
we have 2 one-ton trucks, and we actually we borrowed the cemetery's smaller truck. It's not quite as long because we've been asked to plow the city lot behind the courthouse and the PD lot, and it's a little easier to get in and out with.
Because
so.
you had a small truck. I saw a small truck out last night that it was good in the residential neighborhoods.
That was our cemetery truck.
That was a good one.
Which
Yeah.
is very good for the narrow one-way streets.
Mm-hmm.
We do use that. We've got about 50 miles worth of, 59 miles worth of alleys and one-ways that we can't get a big truck in, so we got to use our little truck. So, other than that, just want to thank everybody for their support, and we'll go from there.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other questions from Mr. Dietz? All right, thank you.
If you got snow in front of your driveway, we will get to it. Right now, our issue is temperatures. Snow is only good, or salt is only good down to about 15 degrees, and it hasn't been much above 15 for the last 24 hours. So next few days, it's supposed to get up in the 50s. So by midweek, hopefully everything's gone. And we'll get ready for the next one. All right.
Anyone else with department updates? No. Next thing I have is council meeting prep. President Porter.
Yeah, did you want to use this opportunity to talk about temporary ordinance 7425 star?
Well, I realize that I put it in your section versus other discussion items. That's,
Okay.
if
All right,
you
well
have
then,
something.
I don't have anything, so
Okay.
you can just move to that.
So, temporary ordinance 7425 star, if we want to discuss it, because otherwise we have 23 minutes to sit around and wait for the regular meeting. So there's a star version. You guys saw it after some conversations, looking through the original. I don't know where everybody is. So I had a couple calls. I think President Porter had a couple calls. If we want to discuss it before we get to the regular meeting, I guess this would be the time. If anyone has any additional thoughts, questions, obviously we can't change it right now, but we can introduce the star version if the star version makes more sense than the original version, or we don't have to introduce the star version. Or we can have questions on what happens if we vote no on it. What happens next?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'll ask that question. What happens if we vote no? What happens next?
I mean, if we vote no, it just stays the same. We roll in with 9 committees for next year with 10 people. It can stay the same. Or we can look at one of these other options. We can vote no. So if we vote no, it stays the same. And then we can discuss at the reorg meeting, which is, when was that scheduled for? I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. The 5th. So we can discuss it, but then we're in a situation where we have a new piece of legislation
It's not voted on.
that, well, then everything's what, council of the whole, the first meeting. We could vote to pass some new piece of legislation. It's just,
And just
Yeah.
to be clear, Mr. Chair, we vote no, that means all the other rules as well that are being proposed also go away. Just,
right,
once again, saying that for the sake of clarity.
right.
All right.
We could pass it, we can roll with this, we could pass this, and then turn around at the reorg meetings, someone comes up with something different, and then consider
Right.
a new piece of legislation with a new idea, and then we end up voting on it at the first meeting.
Do we have the option to table it and then?
No, because you're changing terms
Got it.
and there will be new people. It has to be either passed or denied tonight, sorry.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to change. Lived my whole life, things change, you can't do anything about it, but I don't understand the reason for this change. I haven't heard a good explanation as to why we're changing it. You didn't have a committee, you didn't chair a committee this year, and it worked out fine.
Right.
I feel that every person that's elected to the Lancaster City Council ought to have the opportunity to chair a committee, not co-chair a committee. I don't care what anyone says. The vice chair is the vice chair, not the chair. And it makes a difference. And, you know, I recall when I ran before in 1980, there were 5 brand-new council people. And guess what? We each chaired a committee. We were all under 30 years old, didn't know anything, thought we knew everything. And the institution survived. We survived. The city of Lancaster thrived and prospered. People either jump in and figure it out, or they get exposed. That's how it works. That's always how it's worked. And I propose that we not change anything. Thank you.
I agree with everything he said, but in 1980, I was 17 and not on council.
And he wasn't born yet.
Most of them probably were.
And
Mr. Luxembourg.
I'm with Larry. I agree with everything he said. Keep it at 10.
Mr. Wing.
I just want to make a quick comment here about the START version. I do appreciate the work that's gone into this. My one concern with the START version is, if I remember correctly, it puts stormwater and environmental engineering in a different committee than water and water pollution control. And my concern with that is all those departments work so closely together. I think they should be in the same committee.
Okay.
I guess I'll ask the question here on the floor, but, you know, hearing feedback from these other council, from the other members of council here around the table, could we amend from the floor?
Ask Stephanie on that one.
Not to make your life more difficult, Law Director Hall, but I'm just listening to folks here.
Yeah. Typically, the legislation is given to the clerk in writing before the meeting starts, and that way, the clerk of council has it, and has the ability to, you know, share that with the public for the purposes of public records and transparency. There's nothing in the rules that precludes you from doing that. I just want to be, you know, super careful about how you did it to make sure that, you know, everything was clear to everybody. And that might take a written motion that, you know, separates all of the different departments out. If you're going to do the 5 instead of the 9 that we currently have. But you can do it, technically, yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep.
It would be an easy switch. I mean, it's just one section, one article, 111.06.01. We could strike that from it and pass everything else. Because I'm fine with the rest of it. I don't know that, does anybody object to anything else in it?
Mr. Wing.
I just wanted to clarify, I didn't want my comments to be misconstrued. I say generally I think we should have 9 or 10 committees.
Okay. Yes.
I guess being representative of one of the new members of council and not being on a committee at the moment, for the record, I'm not shying away from chairing a committee. So if we haven't really determined what the reasoning to ease people into this, I don't feel it's necessary.
Go ahead, because
I wanted to
you
provide a little background.
ran the law committee meeting. I think we got an email from Law Director Hall this afternoon that kind of explained how we got to that idea, but please go ahead.
Yeah, so the committee, right, at first was considering, should we move from 9 to 10 committees because we have 10 council people? And the question was raised, should we challenge ourselves to reduce the number of committees? And part of the reason why it helps alleviate the burden and obligation on our administration. Some of our administrative leaders are required or at least expected to go to the majority, if not all, of these committee meetings. That's a lot of meetings for them, and it takes a lot of time out of their day. Also, it's more collaboration with individual council members, having more individual members on, a fewer number of committees helps people be part of the process up front. You're part of the discussion, you're part of the question and answer session in those committees. You can get your concerns addressed sooner in the process, and be able to educate your constituents along the way and have a little more buy-in to the process. Having a chair and vice chair creates collaboration, helps spread the duties and responsibilities, and it doesn't, remove the chair and vice chair's ability to, create and approach the operational execution of that committee in any specific way. You have control over that. And then I've heard concerns not only from current council members, but also future council members who are already elected. And I guess I would just ask, we have 33 state senators, 18 committees. Are the 15 that don't have those chair, positions, are they hampered or, representing their constituents any less just because they don't have that chairpersonship? That would be all that I would ask. And it's not that we are trying to create change, we're trying to think outside the box and what's the best approach going forward. And it doesn't always mean it's the status quo or what we've always done.
Very well said.
May I?
Yes.
The reality of the fact of having a number of committees is based upon operational need. So we should be addressing subject matter in committees that is pertinent and is relevant to the group of people who are assembled, those members of the administration, as Councilmember Kreitz alluded to. On the back end of this, and I think we tried to do this at the beginning of our last council term, and there was some pushback, and I would challenge all new council members and existing council members to look at making sure other council members are aware of the work that's going on. One of the ways that I proposed at the beginning of last term was that we utilize a uniform-looking minutes document that we can all use, that it looks the same, that people can read, including our constituents, and have them read that and know this is what a minutes document looks like, this is the work that's going on in this committee. And also challenge ourselves to get those minutes done in a timely fashion after that committee meeting, so all of our fellow council members, whether or not they could attend or not, could actually read that information and digest it before the legislation gets to them in our regular meeting. So regardless of the number of council committees that we have, whether it be 9, 10, 5, we should be going for the goal of making sure there's a lot of transparency in what's going on and education of us and our fellow members if, in fact, there's information that we should be getting from those committees.
Ms. Teener?
Another thing is like our water meetings, how long do they last sometimes, Michael? 1.5, 2 hours. And then
Yeah,
if you
at least
have
an hour and a
these, are people going to be able to get off work for 3? I mean, I know a lot of times, Christine, you had work. So, it could be 3 or 4 hours out of your day. Is your job going to let you do that? I mean, that's one reason why we would have them early in the morning, and they would be,
Yeah.
I
think, so there's merit to everybody in the conversation, which is why we opened it up the way that we did. I think, so to Becky's point, then it turns into working together on the logistics of it. So some of these are bigger, there's a lot more to digest, but you have some committees that meet every other month or only once a quarter. This setup almost kind of forces the issue, like meet once a month, but then you can look at it as, hey, maybe, okay, so let's use utilities with water, right? So water does a lot of stuff. You might need to have your superintendents at every monthly meeting. You might have superintendents on your committee that don't need to be there every month, unless for some reason they have something that comes up. So, I mean, again, kind of continuing to think outside the box. You don't, you know, maybe it's one of those things monthly with safety that it's police is the focus of that particular month, fire is the next month, and then if something comes up, I think it's one of those things we're trying to also think of, so you're not having so much, like I've been on committees where we only met once a quarter, but then just how this calendar fell, we would be doing more business through email than actually on, you know, during committee meetings. So it was kind of one of those things too. How do you get more people in the room when you're making those decisions? So everybody, again, I've said I'm not married to any one of them. We'll figure it out. We are, contrary to popular belief sometimes, we're grown adults. We can figure it out. At the same time, does this make it more efficient? Does this make everybody a little more accountable by the fact that you are in more of the discussion? You're not just like bringing back parks. Like we got rid of parks because we didn't really have any say in a parks meeting. So, you know, bringing it back just to say we had a 10th one didn't really quite make sense to us when we were sitting and having that discussion. Keeping it the same is fine, but then we roll into the should everyone be a little more involved with that. So I didn't have a problem sitting with no chair because I knew as a pro tem, if I was going to have to do those meetings or if Bob at the time couldn't be there, that I'd be able to fill in. So it didn't bother me doing that way. And that's the first time we had done it that way. I think this term was the first time that a council member didn't have a chair. And it worked out fine for that purpose. Is it going to work out fine the next time? Maybe not. So it's something to consider. And I'd like to also point out, like we can change it. If we realize that, okay, we made a mistake, we can fix it, we can change it anytime we want. That's the other food for thought. So if you don't like it how we present it, I'll present the STAR version, or I'm sorry, Christine is going to present the STAR version. And then if you'd rather stick with how it is now, or you want to see something different, then just vote no. And then we'll go from there. We'll pivot and we'll figure it out. I'm off my soapbox.
You weren't. Discussion.
Any more discussion on that one? Any other discussion for finance? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mr. Ailes. Second by Mr. Solly. It's 6:23 and we are adjourned.
The regular session of Lancaster City Council will begin promptly at 6:30.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Taylor with Habitat for Humanity of Southeast Ohio. We believe everyone deserves a safe, healthy, and affordable place to call home, and we provide home ownership and repairs for families in need. This month, we are proud to be chosen by the Buckeye Family's Buckeye Cares program. They'll make a generous donation with each car sold. Whether it's having employees help out on job sites or supporting us financially, we say thanks, Buckeye, for your ongoing support.
Grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and finally, the wisdom to know the difference. I now call the December 15th Lancaster City Council meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes.
Here.
Mr. Bizjack.
Here.
Mr. Carr.
Here.
Mrs. Kreitz.
Here.
Mrs. Hoop. Here. Mr. Leuchtenberg.
Here.
Mr. Schoonover.
Here.
Mr. Solly.
Here.
Ms. Teener. Here. And Mr. Wynn.
Here.
Please let the record reflect that all 10 members of Lancaster City Council are present. Reading and disposing of the journal.
Excuse me, I have regular meeting minutes dated December 1st, 2025.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the journal.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the journal. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Reports of city officials.
I have 6 of them. I have email dated December 1st, 2025 regarding Taylor Real Estate TIF submitted by Law Director Hall. Email dated December 1st, 2025 regarding City of Lancaster CRA 3 amendment submitted by Law Director Stephanie Hall. Email dated December 3rd, 2025, November of 2025 income tax collection report submitted by Tax Commissioner Amy Hamilton. Email dated December 4th, 2025, Service Committee meeting canceled submitted by Councilmember Larry Ailes. Email dated December 8th, 2025 regarding Elmwood Park Playground submitted by Parks Assistant Superintendent Jennifer Shamblin. An email dated December 9th, 2025 regarding Water Pollution Committee. I apologize, I have 9 of them. Meeting cancellation submitted by Councilmember Michael Wing. Email dated December 10th, 2025 regarding Port Authority Board reappointments submitted by Mayor Don McDaniel. Email dated December 13th, 2025 regarding Winter Lights cancellation submitted by Park Superintendent Steve Gayfield. And the last one is series of emails dated December 15th regarding Law Committee Council rules submitted by Council President Jeff Porter and Law Director Stephanie Hall.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the reports of city officials.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the reports of city officials. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Now move on to communications.
I have 3. I have email dated December 1st, excuse me, 2025 regarding Taylor Real Estate TIF submitted by Darber Dooley with Bricker Graydon. Series of emails dated December 5th through the 9th, 2025 regarding Casto plans submitted by Zachary Gerald with Columbus Business First, Law Director Stephanie Hall, and City Planner Chaslin Carter. Series of emails dated December 2nd, 2025 regarding City of Lancaster PACE, PACE dash 201 through 203 South Broad Street, submitted by Darby Dooley with Bricker Graydon and Law Director Stephanie Hall.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the communications.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the communications. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Special presentations and awards. There are, no, we'll do them in new business.
We have none.
Thank you. Petitions and memorials.
There are no petitions or memorials this evening.
We have now reached the time for permission of voters and taxpayers to address City Council. Are there any individuals here this evening who wish it? Okay, sir. Let me give you the rules. If you approach the podium, you need to put your name and address onto. Okay, and it's a 3-minute limit?
All would be done in 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Just giving you the rules. Thank you.
My name is Terrence Fike. Live at 1195 Cincinnati Zanesville Road, Lancaster. Well, my number, I'll give it to you, 740-270-0937. The mayor knows who I am. Stephanie knows exactly who I am. I'm here to ask the mayor and the council, and I have a live recording of Stephanie on the telephone with me. I've been to the State House because of her actions. I've talked to a congressman and a senator to remove her from the law director's office because of her attitude, her demeanor, the representation of that office. And I get it. I'm Lancaster Auditor. I'm the
Sir.
guy, you guys.
Sir.
I know, I'm just.
You do not address the audience.
All right,
You
good.
don't address anybody but council.
right.
You have 3 minutes, and
Well,
you're at 1 minute now.
I'm
Please
Lancaster Auditor.
continue.
I go around and I audit things. If the prosecutor's office, the law director's office, does not like to hear from me because they lost the battle against me, that's a problem. If they cannot talk to the people when the people has an issue, that becomes the issue that falls on that person's shoulders in this city. She gets paid very well. And I don't want to deep dive like I've already done a couple other officers that remove their badges. So knowingly, I brought this to you guys, and also the chief of fire going up that one-way street, busting those red lights on Harrison. You guys are allowing that? Do you know 90 years ago that was permitted? Very few people lived on that side of town. And like the chief said, we did it then. 90 years later, we're going to continue to do it. Multiple videos of Engine House 2 running that red light, coming up that one-way street on Harrison to pull into the firehouse. And if the mayor's chief of police would catch me doing that or catch anybody in this room, that would be a ticket pulling into that house if you lived on that corner. So those two issues need to be resolved. And if the mayor wants to call me, he has my number. I don't hide. I don't do that. I won't do that. But if we're going to replace our law director, don't allow her to continue to represent that office the way she does. And I want her, and I'm going to, under the law that she protects herself under, I'm going to do everything in my power.
Sir, you've reached
to
your
remove.
3-minute limit. Thank you, and
Yes,
have a good
you
evening.
day.
President Porter, I know we don't typically respond, but I'd like an opportunity tonight, please.
I make a motion, we go out of the regular order of business.
Okay, so we have a motion to go out of the regular order of business. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second to go out of the regular order of business. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Thank you. We're now outside the regular order of business, and I would recognize Law Director Hall.
Thank you, President Porter. Thank you, members of council. I just want everybody to be aware, obviously, I am law director and city prosecutor. And in my role as city prosecutor, I unfortunately have to deal with Mr. Fike on a regular basis. Specifically right now, the Fairfield County Sheriff's Department has forwarded charges to my office, requesting charges against Mr. Fike for stalking one of their deputies while he does his work throughout the county. Mr. Fike called and demanded to know if I was going to issue a warrant for his arrest, and I told him that that's not how the process works. We do not tell criminals who have charges pending that we are going to issue a warrant for their arrest and give them a heads up about that. For the obvious reasons. So Mr. Fike is frustrated because that investigation is ongoing. The Sheriff's Department is still working to potentially get charges filed against him. And in the meantime, this is how he is reacting to that situation. So I apologize that this was laid before all of you, but it should be resolved here in the near future. to the satisfaction of the city and its residents. I'll just note for the record, too, Mr. Fike is not a city resident. He lives outside of the city limits, but still insists on auditing each and every one of our police officers, each and every one of our departments and agencies. And, you know, I support the public records law just as much as anybody else, but there comes a point when it's a waste of everybody's time, every other taxpayer's time and money to have to deal with, you know, the one squeaky wheel. And so, I'm doing the best I can. And I can't say everything that I would like to say, but that's as much as I can share with you tonight. And I appreciate your support and your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any comment? If there's none, we'll go back into the regular order of business and continue with public comment. Having none, we're back in the regular order of business. Is there any other individual who wishes to address City Council at this time? Hearing none, we thank you for coming. Reports of standing committees.
I have two of them. I have safety meeting minutes dated December 14th, 2025, submitted by Mr. Bizjak. Finance committee meeting agenda dated December 15th, 2025, submitted by Mr. Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the reports of standing committees.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the reports of standing committees. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Reports of special committees.
There are no special reports.
Thank you. Public hearings.
We have none.
We will now move on to the reading of resolutions. There are no third readings of resolutions this evening. Second reading, we move to temporary resolution 105-25.
I have a resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director to enter into an agreement with the Fairfield County Board of Commissioners with various consultants as needed, and to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for construction of the project known as the Wiley Road Reconstruction Project. Excuse me, this is through Public Works Committee, Ms. Tiener and Mrs. Kreitz.
Councilmember Tiener.
Second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary resolution 105-25. Temporary resolution 106-25.
A resolution of consent for preliminary legislation and to authorize the Service Safety Director to enter into agreements as necessary to complete the projects known as FAI US 22, I'm assuming SR, State Route, okay, I saw a second, and 37 and 158, VAR, PID 9801 or 22, and D05 for year 2027, Bridge Rehab West, PID 124808. This is through Public Works Committee, Ms. Tiener and Mrs. Kreitz.
Councilmember Tiener.
Second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary resolution 106-25. We now move on to the first reading of resolutions, beginning with temporary resolution 113-25.
A resolution to approve a then and now certificate for the payment of the bill in the General Fund 1001. This is through Code Enforcement and Zoning Committee, Mr. Sully and Mr. Luchtenberg.
Councilmember Solly.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to make a motion that council suspend its rules and waive the second and third reading of resolution temporarily numbered 113-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and waive the second and third reading of temporary resolution 113-25. Councilmember Solly, any discussion on the motion to suspend?
No discussion.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop? Yes. Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Tiener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to suspend the rules and waive the second and third reading of temporary resolution 113-25 passes 10-0. Councilmember Solly.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion that council pass and engross and enter upon the written record resolution temporarily numbered 113-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 113-25. Any discussion?
No.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop? Yes. Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Tiener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record. Temporary Resolution 11325 passes 10-0. We'll now move on to the reading of ordinances. We have no third readings this evening, so we'll move to the second reading of ordinances, beginning with temporary ordinance 7225.
An ordinance determining to proceed with the acquisition, construction, and improvement of certain public improvements in the city of Lancaster, Ohio, in cooperation with the Lancaster Regional Energy Special Improvement District, and declare an emergency. This is through Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mrs. Kreitz.
Councilmember Hoop.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to make a motion that council suspend its rules and waive the third reading of temporary ordinance 72-25.
Second?
So we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and waive the third reading of temporary ordinance 7225. Any discussion on the motion to suspend?
No.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Larkenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to suspend the rules and waive the third reading of temporary ordinance 7225 passes 10-0. Councilmember Hoop.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 72-25.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to pass, gross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 7225. Any discussion, Councilmember Hoop?
This is just to proceed with the ESID and the PACE financing that we discussed the last council meeting.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Sorry. Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Larkenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 7225 passes 10-0. We now move to temporary ordinance 7325.
An ordinance levying special assessments for the purpose of acquiring, constructing, and improving certain public improvements in the city of Lancaster, Ohio, in cooperation with the Lancaster Energy Special Improvement District, approving the CPACE assignment agreement and declare an emergency. This through Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mr. Wing.
Councilmember Hoop.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion that council suspend its rules and waive the third reading of temporary ordinance 73-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and waive the third reading of temporary ordinance 7325. Any discussion on the motion to suspend?
No.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to suspend the rules and waive the third reading of temporary ordinance 7325 passes 10-0. Councilmember Hoop.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 73-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass, gross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 7325. Any discussion, Councilmember Hoop?
This is along with the PACE financing. This just sets up the payments for the Wilson Building.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 7325 passes 10-0. Temporary ordinance 7425.
An ordinance to repeal and replace Lancaster Codified Ordinance Part 1 Administrative Code Title 3 Legislative Chapter 111 Rules of Council and to declare an emergency. This is through Law Committee, Mrs. Kreitz and Mr. Bizjak.
Councilmember Kreitz.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion to replace ordinance temporarily numbered 74-25 by replacing it with ordinance temporarily numbered 74-25 star as given to the clerk in writing prior to tonight's meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to replace temporary ordinance 7425 with temporary ordinance 7425 star, which was presented to the clerk in writing before tonight's meeting. Any discussion, Councilmember Kreitz?
Nothing beyond what we discussed in finance.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizchak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Lochtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
No.
Motion to replace temporary ordinance 7425 with temporary ordinance 7425 star passes 9-0. Councilmember Kreitz.
9-1.
9-1, excuse me, sorry.
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion that council suspend its rules and waive the third reading of ordinance temporarily numbered 74-25 star.
Second.
A motion and a second to suspend the rules and waive the third reading of temporary ordinance 7425 star. Any discussion on the motion to suspend?
Nothing additional.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
No.
Mr. Bizchak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
No.
Mr. Lochtenberg?
No.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
No.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4 noes.
Okay. Okay. So the motion to suspend the rules and waive the third reading of temporary ordinance 7425 passes 6-4. Or is that, nope, we can't.
No, it fails to pass because you
Okay.
have to have a supermajority in order to
I figured
pass
that
this
was
emergency.
something. Thank you. All right. So that means that temporary ordinance 7425 star passes, or we're done, correct?
Yes, it's failed.
Okay, it's failed. All right, thank you. And now we'll move on to the first reading of ordinances, beginning with temporary ordinance 7525.
An ordinance to amend permanent ordinance 63-25, the management pay ordinance, and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council suspend its rules and waive the second and third readings of temporary ordinance 7525.
Second.
A motion and second to suspend the rules and waive the second and third reading of temporary ordinance 7525. Any discussion, Councilmember Schoonover?
This is just to fix an error that we missed on the previous passage of this pay ordinance in 6325.
Thank you. Please call the roll on the motion to suspend.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizchak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Lochtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to suspend the rules and waive the second and third reading of temporary ordinance 7525 passes 10-0. Councilmember Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pass, that council pass and gross and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 7525.
Second.
A motion and a second to pass, gross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 7525. Any further discussion?
No, thanks.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizchak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Lochtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to pass and gross and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 7525 passes 10-0. Temporary ordinance 7625.
An ordinance to amend permanent ordinance 64-25, the non-union pay ordinance, and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Mr. Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council suspend its rules and waive the second and third readings of temporary ordinance 7625.
Second.
A motion and a second to suspend the rules and waive the second and third reading of temporary ordinance 7625. Any discussion, Councilmember Schoonover?
No, thanks.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizchak?
Yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Mr. Kreitz? Mrs. Kreitz, sorry.
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Lochtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Motion to suspend the rules and waive the second and third reading of temporary ordinance 7625 passes 10-0. Councilmember Schoonover.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 7625.
Second. We have a motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 7625. Any further discussion?
No, thanks.
Last one of the year. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes.
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack.
Yes.
Mr. Carr.
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz.
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop.
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover.
Yes.
Mr. Solly.
Yes.
Ms. Teener.
Yes.
And Mr. Wing.
Yes.
Motion to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 7625 passes 10-0. That concludes our reading of legislation for this evening. We do not have any tabled legislation. Unfinished business, we do not have any. We do have a couple of appointments this evening that I would ask council to vote on, and I would turn it over at this time to the mayor to discuss those appointments. First, do you want to discuss the Port Authority and then ECID?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I am requesting that council confirm the appointments of Dean DeRolf and Natalie Furnace to the Lancaster Port Authority. Both of them are longtime members of the Port Authority, and they bring extensive knowledge of the Port Authority's mission, what they've done in the past, and what they plan to do in the future. So I'm recommending they both be reappointed. Again, Natalie Furnace and Dean DeRolf, and you should have received in your email their bios.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to accept those appointments to the Port Authority?
Accept.
We have a motion from, let the record reflect that Councilmember Teener made the motion to accept those two appointments.
I second, Mr. President.
And we have a second from Councilmember Bizjack. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Now we also have an appointment to, well, two appointments to the Energy SID.
Yeah, Mr. President, the ESID, the Energy Special Improvement District, requires a legislative appointment and a administrative appointment. For my administrative appointment, I would like to recommend the council approve Stephanie Bosco as our representative to the ESID.
Okay. Can I have a motion for the appointment, for the acceptance of that appointment?
I'll make that.
Councilmember Leuchtenberg,
I'll second, Mr.
and
President.
then Councilmember Bizjack seconds. All those in favor of that appointment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay. In the legislative appointment, is it necessary to do the legislative appointment this evening, or can we do that at our beginning meeting?
Sorry, no, we've got to do it this evening because they meet tomorrow and they need the full complement of committee member, board members there.
Okay. Yeah, we found out about that this evening, so we really haven't had any opportunity to consider that. I know there's a discussion that Councilmember Hoop was a person that might be wanting to do that. We haven't even had the opportunity. Would you like to serve in that role?
I already spoke with Stephanie Bosco, but that's fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Can we have a motion to appoint Councilmember Hoop to that position?
So moved.
All right. Councilmember Bizjack, second from Councilmember Solly. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. In the future, if we could, I know we just passed legislation tonight, but if we could have that a little bit earlier, we would appreciate it so we could talk to the folks about it. All right, thank you. Now we've reached the time in the meeting for additional new business. We typically ask our council members at this time to give committee updates, but we are going to go to each person tonight, recognizing that this is a final meeting for some folks. But before we do get to that, we've got a couple of quick recognitions because some folks aren't going to be able to make our meeting, well, our swearing in next week. So at this time, I'd like to ask former Councilmember Wolfinger to come forward. We just wanted to recognize your service to Lancaster City Council. So if you come forward over there. Just over here, up here.
Right in the middle.
Coming around, I just can't jump over. Away from the mic. I just can't jump over. Yeah, exactly. So, we'd like to present to you this plaque in honor of your service as a council member at large from January 1st, 2024 to June 30th of 2025. And your service as finance chair as well. So we thank you for your service. We know you served as treasurer and served in this city much longer than just your council service, but we would like to thank you for your council service this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And we also have another individual who can't make it next week due to work, which we all have work. But Councilmember Teener, please come forward. So, Becky, I would just like to recognize your council service from January 1st of 2014 to December 31st, which is obviously a few more days from now of 2025. We truly thank you for your service. So, thank you.
Of course, you know I'm not going to leave without saying something. So, and I thought I was going to be the most exciting thing tonight, but apparently not.
Well, you can go back
Kind
to
of-
your seat and say it from there.
Oh, no, we can do it here.
Go on.
Why at the seat?
Because we're going to go in order. We'll get to you.
Well, this isn't an order. Order's over here.
We will. Okay. All right. Councilmember Hoop, any updates?
None.
Thank you. Councilmember Wayne.
I have a few prepared remarks since it's my last meeting.
Okay.
Would you like me to give those now or?
Sure, we're going to go in order.
Okay.
In the room.
Give me just a minute, okay. Well, thank you all. We navigated through a lot of tough issues this term, and I could not have asked for a more dedicated and professional group to work with. I learned something from each and every single one of you. As you all know, this job is much more than just showing up, voting yes, and even paying a few pennies into a pension system. This term, we transferred our transit department to the county to better serve our workforce, and we saw the completion of the new transfer station at Sanitation, Phase 2 of the Upper Hocking water pollution control expansion, and the opening of the brand-new North Water Plant. I'd also like to thank all the department superintendents who met with me and gave me a tour of all of our city facilities. I am still to this day in awe about how well our city operates and how everything and everyone has to work together every single day to make it happen. Although my time here was short, I can assure you the time that was shared with me was well spent, and it was a very meaningful investment. I would also like to give a big thank you to the departments overseen by my committee. These past 2 years, I learned way more about water treatment, wastewater treatment, stormwater mitigation, and environmental engineering than I ever could have imagined. I truly enjoyed working with these departments. We really were the best committee, the best out of 9. And special thanks to Darren Drum, Curtis Witham, Mike Nixon, Stephen Wellstead, and Denise Cruz. They really are the best at what they do. I would even put them up against their counterparts in any other municipality, and I'm confident ours would be far superior. As most of you know, I have lived here my entire life and found myself coming to these meetings about 4 years ago. Several months after that, I was approached for the first time to run for council, and a big thank you to everyone who's helped me along the way. I did want to make a few comments as to where we are right now. We are here today in this situation because there are some great divisions in our society that have made their way into our local elections. Everyone here knows the event that took place last year that started all of this. I was chastised for not stopping it, but I understand from our legal counsel, it is protected by the First Amendment to our United States Constitution. And I also understand from civics class that the Constitution protects everyone, not just with whom you agree. Unfortunately, this event was exploited by a small fringe group to appeal to people's worst fears and emotions, and they used the energy from that anger to get elected. Instead of uniting the city to find common good, they divided the city for their own personal and political benefit. In order to accomplish this, the group and their surrogates resorted to lies and personal attacks, such as calling me a pedophile, going after my weight, and blatantly lying about what council can do in the shape of our city's finances. I was also called a Columbus insider, ironically from a candidate not from Lancaster, who has worked there far longer than I have. However, I refuse to get involved in the mudslinging because that is not who we are as a city. Although we are divided, in times like these, I'm reminded of our 16th and 40th presidents, Abraham Lincoln and Ronald Reagan, who called on all public servants to seek unity and pursue better angels rather than to divide and seek our worst fears. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you for your service, Councilmember. Councilmember Carr.
Probably too new to have much to say now. Just one comment to Mr. Wing. You got a lot of life in front of you. Don't make this the last time you run for public office.
Thank you.
Councilmember Schoonover.
Excuse me. Trying to think how I want to say this, but these last 2 years, we had a bunch of fresh faces, a bunch of, I think in every term there's always a hot button issue. There's always a lot to do. I think everyone has handled themselves with grace as far as that goes. I've sat up here multiple times and talked about the art of neighboring, and I think the neighboring part really just it intensifies when you sit up here. We had a public hearing not too long ago where we had someone ask, like, hey, do you really listen to what we have to say when we come up here? And my answer was, we do. I mean, it's a struggle for some of the decisions that we make, and then we put a lot of time and effort into it that maybe not be seen. And we've been through the trenches together. So whether you're coming, going, staying, that's important to me. We're always going to be friends in some way, shape, or form because we've been through it together. So I appreciate everyone around the room, and I'm hoping that as we continue the journey in Lancaster, that we figure it out and we keep doing the art of neighboring. And if you haven't figured out the art of neighboring, read up on it, and if you have questions, I can help you with that. That's all I got.
Thank you. Councilmember Teen.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to, there's two couples that always watch, and I'm going to call them out. Kathy and Ed Snyder and Alton and Bonnie Currens on Boving Road. They never miss our meetings, ever. So I just kind of wanted to shout out to them. First of all, I'd like to thank the citizens of the 6th Ward for allowing me to serve you these past 12 years. You have become friends and very much family. Also, Dr. Reichman, Janet Moralt, Tim Welker, Dewart Watts, Bob Hedges, and the late Randy Groff, who encouraged me to run. It took a huge effort from all three parties to get me elected in the general election in 2013. Many people helped behind the scenes also. The Crooks, Mandevilles, Keeners, Sheets, Lines, Currences, Burgesses, Linda Morgan, Kevin and Mary Groves, Debbie Longshore, Sherry Waters, the Smurs, Maggie Brown, and countless others that helped me keep track of our neighborhoods. There isn't anything I could have done without them. I'm very proud of our safety forces. Oh, and I forgot to mention family. If I don't mention family, I'll really be in trouble. Sorry about that. We always leave them out. I'm very proud of our safety forces. I think that Chief Snyder has absolutely made our police department much better. Chief Schultz is working very diligently to get our much-needed firehouse built. However, the heroes of our city aren't the administration, city council, or the safety forces. The city couldn't run without the endless workings of our street, sanitation, water, gas, IT, and parks. They are the very reason the city can function. Also, I want to thank Mary and Mike Tussey, Tom Stoughton, Mayor McDaniel, Mary Groves, and countless others for helping me with my campaign. I'm not going anywhere, so anyone at any time can call me if I can do anything. To address the election in May, I wasn't reelected, as you know. However, I came from a pretty good bloodline of tough people. My 6 uncles and dad were all in World War II. I would sit and listen to their stories. One of my uncles in the Navy was in World War II, Korea and Vietnam. He also received the Purple Heart. In 1982, at the age of 19, I entered the medical field. At the time, it was the beginning of the AIDS crisis. So for several years, I was in the middle of an epidemic. Then in 2004, I started working on a children's cancer floor, which I'm still working there for almost 22 years now. So to not win an election is absolutely not the worst thing that could happen to someone. As we were walking out of our last council meeting, the last night before the election, Councilman Ailes said, "Wednesday, you'll either be happy or relieved." And those were the very words that would have come out of my dad's mouth. So right then, I know I'd be fine. However, the part of the election that isn't fine were the lies and innuendos told, not just about me, but others as well. I had taken a picture after a council meeting one night with Mayor McDaniel and Tom Stoughton, who endorsed me for city council. Within minutes after my posting, my opponent took my picture and reposted it and typed, "Sad to see that the establishment will always protect the status quo, 10 plus years of raising your taxes, letting the sidewalks crumble, and letting drag shows happen in front of our kids." For the record, on my fact checking, none of these candidates in what I have called the Amish Mafia slash Sister Wives group never went to our mayor, safety director, or any departments to find out how the city works. They never came to any of my committee meetings or any other committee meetings to my knowledge. City council did not raise taxes. The voters voted for the increase. As for letting sidewalks crumble, that is the responsibility of the home or business owners. However, I have always said if a sidewalk is damaged because of a city tree, the city should be responsible. We also have a sidewalk program. The 2 streets that are Huber and Reese will finally be paved, which neither Nisley or Aug had anything to do with. That's for the record in case they bring it up that it was done because of them. And as for the drag shows, I never let that happen or endorsed it. I even made my feelings clear. I couldn't do anything to stop it, nor could the police that night. So during this election, either they knew the truth and lied, or they don't know how to fact check. Nisley even made a statement that crime is increasing, which I actually have on my phone in one of his comments on Facebook. He needs to go and check the stats on the city's website. And for the record, I never took an increase in salary the entire 12 years on council. Also, many of the people in this group don't even live in Lancaster. They apparently found individuals with a pulse that would run. The group that calls themselves Christians, even went after ministers and churches. But one thing that happened from that night and is still happening, shortly after the downtown shows, 16 ministers met to help and pray over our community. They are still meeting and planning events today. Last December, they held a candlelight service in the downtown with several ministers reading the Christmas story, with several attending, even though the drag show wasn't good. The weather wasn't good, not the drag show. Sorry about that. I don't know. It says weather, not drag. However, I never saw any of these people calling themselves Christians the night of the drag show. I was told that it was because the ministers reached out to Provisions in Elf City for cookies and hot chocolate. I ate a cookie and drank hot chocolate. Over a year later, I'm still straight. I'm a Christian, however, I'm a work in progress. Every day I say or do something that I think that I shouldn't. Every day I say, do, or think something that I shouldn't. I even have a glass at home that says I believe in Jesus, but I cuss a little. I'm not perfect and will never be perfect, but I sure know God's grace. My brothers and I were brought up not to hate or dislike anyone. However, you might not like what they do. I have friends and family of all backgrounds, beliefs, lifestyles, etc. Some people call themselves Christians. Some people that call themselves Christians are actually the worst advertisement for Christianity. From the ministers I talk to and with my Bible reading, sin isn't rated. Sin is sin. So remember, lying and deception is sin. I always made my feelings known on council floor about public bathrooms. I even met with several people from the Alliance Group. We had very healthy discussions, and both sides agreed to disagree. I never one time saw anything by them on social media about me, but I can't say that about the Amish Mafia Sister Wife Group. During the campaign, Mike Tussey made posts supporting my election. Frank Clark stated on that post, "The single woman goes far with most men." I don't even know what that means. However, he was arrested this past summer for an incident and actually called me right after he got out of jail, it appeared, and left me a message to call him. So not only can this group wave red, white, and blue, they can also add orange and white to their colors because that's the color of the Fairfield County Jail. So in closing, it's okay to have debate and disagreement, but it's how you disagree can be the problem. Vote the right way and not what you're comfortable with. Be brave enough to do what's right, even when others don't.
Thank you, Councilmember Tiner. Councilmember Kreitz.
I did not actually prepare anything because I didn't really realize this was my last meeting until I got here. So I would just say that I have learned a lot. I really appreciate all of the help along the way, not only with the current council members, but the prior council that was here before as well. I have a much better appreciation for all of the city administration and the workers and the process because it's a lot different than what I thought it was before actually joining council. And I'm very excited to see where this city goes in the future with the new council and where you guys take us. That's it.
Thank you, Councilmember Kreitz. Councilmember Ailes.
I have nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Luchtenberg.
I have no committee update, but I do have some parting remarks. I'd just like to say it's been a pleasure getting to know all of you around this table. It's been a real joy getting to know you all this year. It's been my honor to serve the citizens of Lancaster and to serve alongside of all of you. It truly has been an honor. I consider you not only as fellow council men and women, but also as friends. I hope you feel the same. I'd like to thank Christina Kreitz for coaching me when I was first appointed. What a blessing you were. She was council clerk back then. And I'd like to thank you all who helped me along the way as well. I'd like to thank my wife, Debbie, for putting up with me. I had a pretty heaped up plate for a while between this and my office and our church. But it's been a joy. And I'd like to publicly give praise to Mayor Don McDaniels, to Service Safety Director Carrie Woody. Where is she tonight? Christmas shopping with her family. Oh, she has her priorities. To Law Director Stephanie Hall, to City Auditor Tricia Nettles, and to City Treasurer Tom Stoughton. You guys work tirelessly for this city, and I want the citizens to know how good our leadership is here. It's amazing how many countless things you guys oversee, the many hats you all wear, and the grace that you carry your duties out with. It's truly amazing. I'd like to thank Jeff Porter, our City Council President. You're on a tight ship here, and I appreciate that. You've done a fine job. The thing that just blew me away, in addition to all of you, is the hundreds of folks in the various city departments. Behind the scenes folks, I met many of them in my council meetings. They are the unsung heroes. They don't get the praise. They don't get the limelight that we all get. And yet without them, this city wouldn't operate. They do a magnificent job, and I want the city to know this. It's been an eye-opening experience for me and a huge blessing to be in this seat for the past 2 years. And Amy Cohen, I congratulate you on winning the election, and I wish you the best. I'll be praying for you, and I pray that you'll handle this position with the honor, and we'll give it the TLC that the citizens of Lancaster deserve. Congrats. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Bizjack.
I have nothing.
Thank you. Councilmember Solly.
I don't have a committee update, but I will say it was a year ago that I was appointed to this council. And I really appreciate everybody's help here. I think almost about everybody around this table has stepped up to help me and get me on board and up to speed quickly. And I'm really grateful. And I will tell you that when I came into this role, you know, I told myself either I'm going to find out how things really work in this city and either going to be scared to death or, you know, I'm going to be happy with what I see. And I got to tell you, what I've learned in the last year is I'm very proud of this city, the folks that work for our city leadership, this council, and the citizens of this town. I couldn't be more proud of the place I live. And, you know, I've lived in Lancaster for probably 32 years now, and I'm really proud to call it home. We have a lot to be proud of, and we've got great things ahead of us. That's all I have.
Thank you. We do have some additional new business this evening, a couple of liquor permits that we've received.
We have a couple, we have 4 of them, as a matter of fact. We have 2 transfers and 2 new ones. We have the JAD Lancaster LLC, one-stop carryout, transferring from 803 One-Stop Carryout LLC. And then 1649 East Main Street, Lancaster, transferring from the HVLP LLC Estate.
Let's do the transfers first.
Okay.
So we have 2 liquor transfers that have now been read. I take it we just need to approve those transfers or not object to those transfers, right?
Correct.
Correct. Okay, thank you. I would take a motion to approve the transfers unless anybody has a hard reason to object.
Move to approve, Mr. President.
Okay, we got a motion to approve and a second from motion to approve from Councilmember Bizjack, second from Councilmember Teener. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Now we'll go to the new permit applications.
Have 2 new ones, Family Ties Diner LLC and Las Maricas?
Looks like Los Mariachis.
Oh, geez. Yeah, this is why I read for a living. That's why I like numbers. Los Mariachis of Lancaster. I was told by Lieutenant Underwood that this one is actually where Frisch's is going to be.
Okay.
There was no bad background of that one. And then as for the Family Ties Dinner, they looked up that address and they didn't have anything bad come in from that one either.
Okay. So we would either take a motion to approve or object. Do we have a motion to approve?
I move, Mr. President.
Councilmember Bizjack, second from Councilmember Teener to approve those 2 new permits. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. We'll now move on to the, with no additional new business this evening, the announcement of scheduled meetings.
I have next regular sessions of council, January 12th, 2026 at 6:30 PM here in council chambers. And then again, January 26th, 2026 at 6:30 PM here in council chambers.
Special scheduled meeting.
I have one January 5th, 2026 at 6 PM at City Hall, 1897 Conference Room.
And that is the council reorganization meeting, so all council members should make plans to attend that meeting. We have no regularly scheduled committee meetings at this time. We'd now move on to the reading of bills.
I do have 3 of them, but one I have not received the invoice, but I wanted to let you know what it's going to be before I ordered legislation books to put all of my legislation, ordinances, resolutions, and minutes through. And I need those every year in order to keep those organized and file away in the safe. I have not received that invoice yet. So once that comes through, that'll be on my agenda again to let you know how much it was. The Spotlight Awards, $296 for plaques, nameplates for councils. And then MNCO, $206.32 for publication of ordinances, permanent ordinance 7025 and permanent ordinance 7125.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pay the bills. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We have no need for an executive session this evening. Now I will take a motion to adjourn our final meeting of this term.
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion. We adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
No.
Okay, there you go. Oh, wow. All right, final word.
Before we adjourn, can we get a picture out here?
Yeah.
Before
Before everybody, all council members and administration leave for this evening, we'd like to get everybody together to take a photo up here. So if you could make yourself available, and please remember to sign your legislation before you leave this evening.
Let's do the picture before we do all that. Yeah.